L5R Lounge. This is our fifth episode, and this week, joining me to play today is my wonderful co-host on the Jade Throne, Mr. Chris Podorf, or
How?
what name are you going by now? It's
Oh,
not
it's
Podorf, right?
it's the one that Sar put in for the Dallas Cote. It was Poffert.
Oh yeah, Chris Poffert. That's right.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
I knew that if I entered into the tournament with that name, everyone would know who it was. So.
I feel like most people understand at this point in time, or they can make a reasonably educated guess. But yeah, so Chris, welcome, and also with us is our fellow Team USA teammate for the World Cup, Mr. Michael Edwards.
Yeah, what is up, everybody?
Yeah, so Mike goes by fan favorite on the Discord, Shinjo Daehyun. So if you guys have seen him around, he is a wonderful unicorn player, and thus we have recruited him to play on the USA team. Otherwise, if he wasn't good, then we wouldn't put him on the team.
I mean, wonderful is a strong word. I mean, like, I get by, I guess.
You know, funny enough, you had a couple weeks ago. You had a Phoenix versus Unicorn matchup, but I actually think that both of our decks are going to be quite different than what people saw with Flipa and Action Johnny.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love Daniel's deck. It was pretty great.
both of those decks are pretty distinctly different from the ones that we're going to have on today. So let's go ahead and talk about the decks that we will have, and we'll start with Chris. Let's take a look at your deck. It's called Oops, All One Drops.
Yeah, it's just a play on words from our first name for birds back at Gen Con last year was like "Oops, all birds." This is trying to explore that concept a little bit further. I was pretty unhappy with birds right at the start of the year. It kind of just felt like I was jamming echoes to just get K-Days back, and then I wasn't really doing anything with it after that point. Like losing charge is losing a lot of explosiveness, all that kind of stuff. Really, all I want to do is just make really big storms and really big Atsukos, and then every once in a while, if a bird, happens upon that situation, then great. So I kind of just focused on creating a whole bunch of one-drops onto the board. Most of my turns are just buying 2 1-drops and then passing. And so you get to big storms really quickly, and then hopefully if you get a bird in the yard, it's my ancestor strength to turn the 1-drops into 6/6s, and you really try and crutch on that for as long as possible before you ever fire off, echoes.
Okay.
But we'll see how it goes. It's there's the conflict deck has a bunch of fucking 2-drops that I definitely need to drop and turn into copies number 3s of other cards. But for right now, we're just testing different options. So
Okay.
we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I can drop the clouds soon, but it's not looking like that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff out there in the current meta that requires Cloud. I think if you got to check out any of the LLO tournament this past weekend, you definitely saw some big guys with some obnoxious text boxes who were doing some work, especially that old Togashi Mitsu. But yeah,
for sure.
taking a look at your Dynasty deck, it definitely does look a lot less bird focused. And let's see, how many 1-drops is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
15 total.
15 total 1-drops, including the 3 Shrine Maiden in your conflict deck, which comes into play actually often.
Well, I guess 18 with the Shrine Maidens.
Yeah, 18 with the Shrine Maiden. So it comes into play because of this new province, Retired to the Brotherhood. So talk to me about this thing. Why is this thing so amazing and crazy?
It just does like a whole lot that one province probably shouldn't be able to do, but it requires a very specific board state for that. So what this province does is, the very base of it is it takes all the fateless characters out of play and replaces them with characters randomly from the top of your deck. But it does it in a timing window so that if there's any fateless characters attacking you, and this is your stronghold province, all those characters are immediately removed from combat because the attackers have already been declared. So, against sometimes maybe Swarm like we may see today, it really matters how the Swarm deck is timing the tempo of their stronghold attack, because it could, if they just have a bunch of fateless characters on the board, they may not actually be able to attack me that turn, because sometimes all it does is kick all of their guys out of the battle, replaces them with random characters, and then gives me a standing new army with which to throw, hopefully, at their stronghold as well if I was racing correctly. So it kind of does like a whole lot, but again, only under certain conditions.
What would you say has been the most Hearthstone result that you've gotten from Retired to the Brotherhood so far?
Oh, definitely the Shrine Maidens, because like you play a Shrine Maiden before your opponent attacks into you, and they're just like a normal non-shook body, and then they turn into like an Atsuko or something else like that. Like getting Atsukos off the top with this is always the dream, because then really regardless of no matter how many characters your opponent has been kicked out of the fight, you're probably going to be able to defend with something. God forbid them if they actually attacked Void. But I don't know. It's just. Probably the most Hearthstone-y thing is just whenever people didn't realize it existed yet, and I had a Lion player that got their entire attacking army, basically their entire board went away, and it was also the last attack of the battle, so that was pretty funny. Also, 5 Fires can be really funny if you're planning on playing it before they attack. So 5 Fires being in the deck is kind of like anti-Crane, anti-Tower, anti-Dragon kind of meta. Does randomly, if against Unicorn you can 5 Fires their board before their final attack, then they kind of have to sit there and decide if they're actually going to attack you or not.
Yeah, that could be pretty hilarious.
Yeah, so, it sounds like it feels bad.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so on the other side, we have Mike for your deck. This deck is called Redline, and this is an HMT deck out of Unicorn with Lion Splash. So talk to me a little bit about that. What do you like from there?
Gotcha. Yeah, I want to say, there's probably nothing really novel about this deck. It's probably been made before by countless people. But definitely wanted to go with Lion Splash over Dragon, just because that one's like beating a dead horse. And this deck is all about speed. You can see that the Dynasty lineup, it's all low to the ground. I think the highest cost characters for it, Shono. Really, this deck was a little bit better, I want to say, when you could play Those Who Serve and get your 1-drops in for free, especially Utaku Infantry. But you actually have a pretty decent line of 2-drops to pick from in the deck. Again, General Swarm Tactics, you can see the Ujik Tactics in the Conflict side of the deck. Shrink the numbers just to capitalize on that. Earth Roll for Unfulfilled Duty. And Elegant Test, and of course a double tap cards like Yasamura, Young Warrior, Endless Plane Skirmisher, especially Utaku Infantry, just to get them into another one.
All right, yeah. So I'm noticing that you don't have Those Who Serve in this deck anymore. So obviously, with this past restricted list update on Monday, we haven't had a game since that happened. But Those Who Serve was errated, so it no longer can reduce the cost of something below 1. So it's a minimum of 1. So all these swarmy kind of decks that are playing Those Who Serve to get like 10 things on the board all on 1 turn for 2 fate. That can that no longer happens. So you did mention that there are a bunch of 2-drops in this deck. Do you think that Those Who Serve still has a place in this kind of deck because of the fact that you can still get value from that, or do you think that it's it's just sort of superfluous?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like, you can easily slide Those Who Serve back into this deck, and then you get a ton of value out of like cards like Border Rider, Yasamura, Young Warrior. Gunso is probably one of the most value plays. You pay 1, you get 2 characters, and of course that combos into Elegant Tessin, things like that. So easily slot it back into the deck. I think you can make adjustments to put that in, shape your Dynasty deck a little bit more around it. You can include like another set of 2-drops if you wanted to. There's a couple more playable ones, like maybe Honest Challenger out of Unicorn if you really wanted to. And that just gives you a little bit more political bump, but really you're just trying to put as many bodies out there as possible. So it always feeds into the game plan. Okay.
And one thing I also noticed is that you are on Endless Plains. I know a lot of people have sort of there was a good period of time, I think, like during like year 1 year / early year 2, where everybody thought that Endless Plains was a meme and it was bad. But then as of like Worlds of last year, there were a ton of people still running Endless Plains, and now it sort of seems like it's a mainstay in most Unicorn decks. So how do you feel about Endless Plains in general? What do you Is it good enough?
I just want to, on the record, for anyone out there listening or watching this right now, I absolutely hate Endless Plains. The province, but what it does for you though, I guess as the game has gone on, the value of Endless Plains actually has gone up. So I will admit that I'm probably wrong in my opinion.
It's okay to hate it. Don't say
that. Like I don't like the pop. It feels like I'm just giving it to you if you poke into it with a low cost character that has 2 irrelevant skill for the conflict. But it single-handedly will keep your opponents, like if they're towering or investing in 1 character, from attacking you turn 1, and that's just giving you more momentum, more time to push your game plan. Also, if they don't take the time to poke or just scout your provinces, there's easily a chance where they can walk in, kill themselves, and just give you the game by like getting rid of. I guess my favorite was like 3 Fate Toshimoka, walk him in, and then he gets in those planes, and that's the game.
Yeah, sure. You
That
know,
has to be the best feeling, I'm sure.
you know, something that you say that there's not a lot of spice, you know, in your deck, but 2 assassinations in Unicorn is in my opinion, pretty significant. You don't see that choice a whole lot. And since my deck only wants to buy 1-drops with 2 Fate early game, I actually won't be. I'll have to be semi-careful. I can't, like, you know, lose a 2 Fate 1-drop to fucking Endless Plains and have you assassinate the other one, and then I'm just
Right. I think that's why the deck's also called Red Line. I'm trying to go as fast as possible. So, like, if I'm not winning on the top of 3, I'm probably already lost this game. So Honor's kind of out the window. I'm probably 75 build turns. Doesn't really matter.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now that we talked about the decks a little bit, I know you guys already have a game up, so we'll go ahead and hop into the game, and we'll talk a little bit more about your choices and what you're looking for. Chris looks like your first player right now, so tell me a little bit about like what's your ideal mulligan?
Yeah, so basically none of my dynasty matters except for Fushicho. Like a really big point of the deck is making sure that my ancestor's strength gets turned on, because my first line of defense is being able to turn 1-drops into 6/6s. And in this matchup, even though this is an aggressive deck, Mike is going to be the beatdown. I'm going to be the control. So it's very important for me to get a Fushicho in the yard early so I can start to represent some kind of defense. I need to be able to save at least 1 province a turn.
Okay. And for you, Mike, I'm assuming you're just looking for like your power low drops, like your Border Riders and your Yasumuras, or how does that work?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think on like an opening turn, you're looking for like pretty much any value play that you make. So Gunso's to open up into like a Border Rider, Young Warrior, pretty much any other of your low drops that you're hitting. That's good. If you can get first player, that's even better with Yasumura. Kind of set the tempo, keep your opponent on the back foot since they can't defend for the rest of the round, normally at least, unless they can slide them in. And then if you can find an Utaku infantry like turn 1 or 2, throwing like a Fate or 2 on them is not too bad as long as you can keep them around. Like it might get assassinated, but whatever. It probably has the most combo potential with Unfulfilled Duty. So you can stand him up and he gets as big as he was with however many people that you have in the first conflict with the second. So, and he's just as good in both conflict types.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, Utaku infantry is definitely a card that we I know, Chris, that you were like semi obsessed with him like last year when you were playing Unicorn because
well, it's because Mike isn't too far off. It's because I was playing. I mean, he doesn't have Mado, but I was playing Unfulfilled Duty. Also, I think I may need to. I don't know if you guys care, but I may need to restart this game because I put Corey Mori under my stronghold instead of Brotherhood. I clicked the wrong orange province. I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead and restart. Real quick.
I did see. It sucks too because I had a bird here, so definitely not trying to get out of a bad start or anything. So dumb. I'm sorry about that. All right.
Yeah, that was another addition to the to the restricted list, or I guess removal from the restricted list was Korimori. Got taken off, but also it was errated to no longer be able to be able to work on your stronghold, or you can't put it under your stronghold anymore. So definitely a nice little buff for Phoenix. I think especially the Bird Phoenix. Kind of once, you don't get a ton of value out of something like Shameful Display, but something like Korimori can give you that extra military conflict wherein you otherwise wouldn't have it. It's a pretty good defensive province, and also like you can switch the conflict sometimes over to Void whenever you have an Atsuko out.
Yeah, like there's especially anytime you're running Display of Power, Korimori in row is going to be at base level okay-ish, there's a lot of different ways that you can make a Korimori on row worth it. I'm gonna go ahead and just fire off season here. So Michael's start is pretty fucking insane in my opinion.
Right, this feels terrible.
There's a Gunso over there, there's a Moto Youth, there's all this kind of shit. So hopefully I'm trying to random him into a worse draw and then also get my birds in the yard. And then I've also this is beautiful for me, right? I've got some 1-drops, so I'm not going to buy the Scholar first. I'll go ahead and buy the Dreamer worth 1. This will protect me if I ever want to try and scout a second province in this turn. And then I'll probably end up buying the Solemn Scholar with 2. Maybe not, because Michael could only buy one thing here.
It's true. Like, my last flip was definitely a lot better than this one.
Yeah, and now he could fire off his own season here just to try and get a better thing. Now, what is important, you already have 2 keepers, which is super scary.
It's true.
That's scary.
Yeah, 2 keepers for Michael, and meanwhile 2 birds for you. So
I want to do something a little unconventional. I think I'm gonna actually just buy the Shono.
It's interesting. I think I have to pass here. So I don't want to do things that'll intentionally get me behind on money. And while I do really like Scholar, since Unicorn's on like Lion Splash, like random bows, especially if it's not supported by anything else, can be bad because they could potentially just have ready for battle. So I think I'll just try and take money going into the next turn, and we'll probably just attack City of the Rich Frog here to be safe. I don't know. I guess if Endless Plains is underneath Shiatomi encampment, that's not the worst thing in the world. I get rid of the encampment.
That is true.
So whenever I'm going to be attacking into unknown provinces, I usually like to go ahead and play a Shrine Maiden with 0 and then use that to derp in. So we'll face in with Maiden here.
Right. And I see that center went away, which is kind of huge in this matchup because most of the time you can just get away with not defending, play a display of power, and there's no way I can cancel that. And that just ruins my whole turn.
Yeah, display of power always a a big upsetting thing for you to see in Unicorn, especially on the early turns, right, when you have the encampment showing.
Right, exactly.
All right, so I'm going to set my Ethereal Dreamer to Earth because I'm not actually going to be attacking Earth here. I don't feel confident enough attacking into him with what I'm seeing on my end. So I'll leave Earth back for when he attacks Earth to try and get his keepers, and then I'll just swing in Political Void here into... I'll go ahead and scout whatever this province is with derpers here. Pilgrimage, super.
All right. So here I think I'm actually going to commit Shono to the defense just because you get 2 things out of it. We can get the honor on him, and of course we get to keep the ring just in case he has shenanigans to get himself to pump up. But on the 1-drop, pretty much doubt it. No, I think your board can get pretty big with Supernatural Storm later on as the game goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
waste more resources. This is red line, so
the second Shiatomi encampment over here, hiding in the shadows behind this Endless Plains skirmisher.
Oh yes, indeed. All right. So this is already getting scary.
It is a little terrifying.
So we got a free defense, 1 encampment used. Now we get a large body attacking into me. Seems fun.
Right. Let's see. And I think we need one of these. Just to see.
Hey.
What is under this guy?
Well, that's just 2 money. That's all that is.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Let's see. We're going to risk this, I guess. So I want to try to take out this Season of War just because I don't want him firing off next turn and losing these 2 encampments. It's pretty huge.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's not really that big a deal. It's Emperor Summons. Now here, it just represents my 3rd Fushicho in the yard, so not hyper relevant. And I know that this will just absolutely crack up like Travis and Anil who say that this province is terrible, but, I think it's fine. On the other hand, I am contemplating a defense here, where I throw a whole bunch of cards at you and force you to do things. So I'll go ahead and defend. And my first action is going to be to try and turn my 1/1 into a 6/6. Well, actually, it'll be an 8/8 with its Earth.
Right. I think we're okay with this. I think we just want to try to win here.
Hello to everybody watching. Thank you, Mosey, for the follow. Thank you for tuning in.
So, Michael had mentioned Censure being pretty important. Defend Your Honor can also be pretty important. If I don't find some way of maybe getting those out of his hand whenever I'm not bigger as I currently am, it makes it really hard to fire off Forebear's Echoes unless it's a province I haven't defended already. I am gonna. This is a really bad echoes because I'm not gonna. I don't. I guess I'm gonna stop for a second. Let's go ahead and play cards. So what I'm gonna do now, because I expect I'm gonna fire off an echoes to try to get him from getting off both of his keepers. So now I'm gonna start digging for a big body for the bird to actually get back, and I'm not finding anything yet. So I'm gonna keep off firing off walking the ways until I find an actual payoff for Fushicho.
Right, and all 3 birds in the yard early is kind of gross. I think I want to push the tempo here because, again, if we're not breaking, we're not playing this deck right.
That's how most decks should be. I feel like that's a great philosophy.
Okay. Very interesting.
It's so great that this province is 5 strength though. It
Yeah, I know.
takes so many resources to commit to breaking.
It does.
So Mike, while
Fascinating.
Chris is firing off his walk in the ways, tell me a
Oh,
little bit about
tons.
your local scene. So I met a bunch of you guys at Worlds both last year and the year before, and obviously it seems like you have a very strong and competitive scene. So tell me about where you guys play, how many people you got, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. So my local scene's at your local game store down in Mint Hill, North Carolina. For those who don't know, Mint Hill is just an extension of Charlotte, so greater Charlotte area. Probably the biggest play group there that I know of. We have anywhere from like 8 to 12 people that show up on a regular basis. I want to say about 6 of us are really competitive, so we go out to the bigger events. I think 5 of us went out to Worlds, so that was a pretty fun trip. And we have actually a pretty good mix of players. I think the one clan that we're missing is Dragon. No one wants to touch Dragon with the 10-foot pole. I couldn't tell you why though. And as far as North Carolina as a whole, there are a bunch of players up in the Triad area, and they play at Gamers Armory. I think if the events hadn't been canceled this season, there would have been, I think, 3 events, 2 in Charlotte and 2 in Cary, and then 1 in Charlotte. Or the what are they? Prime Championships?
Yeah, the Prime Championships, or the Store Championship, whatever the case was, whatever level of tournament that was.
Exactly. So we actually have a pretty good competitive level of players here in the Charlotte area and just the Carolina as a whole. So get good reps in. It's nice to play in physical space as opposed to Jigoku.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we can only go so far with that right now. So, but if you guys, anybody listening, anybody watching this video who is in the North Carolina area, feel free to hit up Mike and just talk to him a little bit. If you weren't aware that there was a scene in your local area, go ahead and check it out.
yeah, so the big bird.
So my hand was super terrible. I had and I actually still misplayed this province. So the Emperor Summons, I should have actually gotten a K-Day instead of my 3rd bird. I was just chatting along and having a good time and forgetting about how the game actually works.
I was gonna tell you something, but I figured I would let you talk your way through it instead.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it's a lazy Sunday, and I can't pull birds in the yard with no payoff. It's all good. It's all good.
And this is where we use to defend your honor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, I assume that you'll bid to win.
Yep.
So
Can't afford to have the bird go off.
Yeah, that would be pretty devastating right now because not only does it represent a loss to this conflict, given the current board state, but it also represents you not getting your keeper ring, you not getting that military ring for the Shiatomi encampment. Well, you actually already had the Shiatomi encampment, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's why I chose to defend. Felt pretty good that like having 2 Shiatomi encampments. So 5 fires. That's gonna come back and bite me later. Just watch. And the bird comes out anyway.
I'm sure you'll play a katana and just make all this completely pointless.
No, I'm actually gonna do something worse. I'm gonna play.
No, don't do things worse.
No. Like worse in the sense that this is actually a worse play. I really want to win this ring, so I'm just gonna go ahead and burn this Ujik Tactics to give myself +1.
All right. So a play that I could have done that would have gotten me an extra 1 is to have gotten the Inferno Guard Invoker instead of the bird. But this will actually net me a body after the conflict, even though I'm going to lose like 1,000,000 in card advantage. So it's fine.
Yep.
It's all fine.
Gonna play the spoils, grab some cards. It'll be fun.
It's going to be like 10-2 at the end of this conflict. It's very casual. No big deal.
It's just the court games.
We didn't even break. Feels bad.
And Christian in chat pointing out, spoils is only +1, so it can't be 10-2. Get your
11-2.
11-2.
12 to 1.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and stand him up.
Okay, so both encampments have been used. That seems like relevant information.
Let's see, and this guy bumps himself up by 7. Well, he could. But then he just dies.
Well, I can promise our viewers out there that I have already played this terribly just in this first turn. I am positive. Right, so we'll both pass. I'm not going to bother messing with Shono. I'll just beef up my own guy here. I think that's fine. Shono's just going to get big again whenever he attacks in.
Right, and I feel like it would be a wasted ring.
Well, I guess I could make you spend a card. Let's see here. So you have to attack in political. Mm-hmm. You're at 4 right now. You would activate well, you're at 5 anyway. Whatever. So I guess I am supposed to... Oh, oops.
Yeah,
I guess we will dishonor Shono. And make you spend a card for a political break.
Yeah, don't forget that Shono has already been used in that earlier conflict.
Right, so he can't pump himself up.
He pumped up the Wayfinder in himself.
Okay, I thought that was Ujik Tactics, or did he do that before?
I did that first, yeah.
Okay.
And then for those at home, I think Emperor Summons, I was already used the trigger Secret Bear, so we're just going to go to Manicure because we already know it's there. That way you don't get the second trigger next turn. And then we actually can't do anything in blue conflicts.
Well, so that just actually nets you the same amount of economic advantage, right? Like you take away my Seeker activation, but you gave me a Manicured activation, and you still have to go back later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Well, you're going to be first player, and I actually want to get some money, so I'm going to go ahead and return the fire ring now so that there's a second ring with money on it come next turn.
Yeah, and it's thanks to the power of the Ancestral Shrine. Generally a tech card that you put in for the Scorpion matchup, but it also happens to have other uses and some niche situations like this one.
So I'd like it if I had more cards in my hand, sure, but honestly, I'm pretty comfortable with the board state right now.
Yeah, I have to say it's definitely not terrible that. Okay. I'm actually surprised you pitched the Season War there.
Well, now I just need to get into bodies. Like now that the birds are in the yard, I just need to get just at least 1 to 2 1-drops per turn, and I know that there's 15, but like this kind of turn, this is perfect for me. And this is what I was trying to dig for.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. So let's see. What do we do for value here? I think we're gonna go with Gunso. I think, yeah, we choose. We're gonna choose an infantry here, and then the upside is he hit the 3rd initiate too. So,
and see, these guys are hilarious looking. I really like their. I don't know what they're wearing exactly or what,
The chicken suit.
It is very much a chicken suit. It is a former. This is a man who lived a life as a chicken mascot and lost his helmet somewhere, and now he's jumping off a cliff to pay for his sins. And already just a monstrous board on that side. The keepers, and plus all these little cheap guys.
and then we're gonna pass.
Yeah, I thought about passing there, but you were like, the only reason to pass is to keep you away from UD fate, and you're gonna grab one off of a ring anyway, so I don't care. I might as well just get bodies, so try and make bigger storms when I get there.
Alright, so while you guys are going over conflict stuff right now, or pre-conflict stuff, I want to give a little bit of a plug to the Discord World Cup, which will be happening in about a month's time. For those of you who have been following along with the Discord League for the past couple of years, this is something that we have been running on an annual basis, where we get teams from each country to play against each other in a little interesting format. It has been a lot of fun and very hype. All the best players in the world pretty much are summoned to defend the honor of their countries. And right now you're with 3 of the people on Team USA. So we're hoping to actually be able to participate, unlike last year where we didn't play.
What's 100% more hype, right? Like,
the joke, Mike, is that we did really bad last year. And
we made it to the cut, and then
okay, so you got out pools.
We basically limped into the barn and then immediately died.
That feels so bad.
And in my opinion, it feels like we're going to do the same thing when the entire North America side of the Jigoku tournament gets taken out before the top 4. That's not a good sign that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely it didn't help that the best player in North America happened to oversleep the tournament and just didn't show up. So, but if that's a sign of things to come for the World Cup, then perhaps we are in some trouble.
I mean, I don't know. Like, Crab is very, very good. Mosey was playing Crab. Then it's not too good if he gets taken out before the top 8. On the other hand, we did see some interesting action from Evan playing IMS spells, kind of more mid-rangey Shugenja. I'm waiting on you, Mike, right? Like,
you're waiting.
I didn't disconnect or anything. Okay.
Oh, you're good.
I kind of promised myself that I wouldn't be playing any more IMS, but if I kind of feel like this 1-drop direction is about as far as I can take KI right now, and maybe mid-range is just better. There's so much fucking policy debate out there right now.
There is a lot of policy debate. It's very scary, actually. And so it kind of worries me as a Lion player because of our guys don't have great blue numbers. Unicorn obviously has worse blue numbers than us, but
that's terrible. Now, if you want to beat Unicorn, you just play policy debate. Like, oh, he passes. That feels bad. I feel like he's gonna display me.
The display would be pretty good right here. Oh, you're gonna play cards. Oh, all right.
It would be solid.
Nope, I'm just going to be taking breaks right now. Oh, so good. Another spoils.
It's an alright card.
It's alright.
It's alright. That's the tough part when you have like third of your deck in your hand. What do you get rid of?
Get rid of the good cards.
My Katana's a good card. And we're not going to pitch anything to your discard pile.
Oh no, my 4 glory guy got a
Well, unfortunately, he is the kind of guy who can honor himself back up pretty easily. So
Maybe he just doesn't ever go into a conflict phase. Maybe he just favor bitches. That could be a way this goes.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely don't care enough about that conflict to throw cards at it right now.
Right. And we just want to keep the second tier Tell Me Up on City of the Rich Frog, which is just one of the downsides. Like, this gives you a lot of fuel with the characters that you can see to work with, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's really hard to defend.
yeah, it's this is definitely the downside of the province is that it is blank otherwise, and it becomes a pretty easy farm spot for decks that are looking to stick at one province and not really go anywhere else.
So I think what we're going to do here is go ahead and double tap this. And let's go somewhere new.
All right, what's under the box? Uh-oh.
Mori. Which actually isn't terrible. Like,
No, it seems fine. Like, I'll block, I'll switch it to pole, I'll pump up one of my guys to a 6/6 and you'll assassinate it. That seems like a good line. So I could do something else. Let's see here. No, I can't really do anything else. I can do this exactly the way I said it was. Okay, sure. So switching to pole.
nice.
I dare you to play another captive audience.
As much as I would love to do that, I don't want you getting anything value from another bird. That would,
Fair.
that would not be good. So, I mean, I think we'll just take winning here.
Yeah, so that's one of the good things about Shono is that he pretty much always represents the best political stat that you can offer in a unicorn deck.
I mean, you're live right now on Twitch, Sora.
No, I'm not.
It's just my wife doing chores around me.
Okay.
You didn't say you're gonna be recording.
Let's see here. You know what? I'll throw a storm at this. I'm gonna discard it anyway, probably, quote unquote, randomly. I know how Jaiko is.
Let's see. Put you at 6. That doesn't feel good. Who's the beefcake? It's this guy?
Yeah, that's the one you have to assassinate.
But why would we assassinate? I don't think we care about that conflict enough, right? We could also do this. Don't do this at home, kids. This is not a good play.
Shinjo Ambusher.
Yeah, we're gonna drop him in the conflict. It's kind of too late to trigger his ability.
Yeah, this has always been sort of the perennial problem of Korimori versus Unicorn is that they do have Ambusher, but at the same time, it was always impossible to ever trigger it on Korimori because you can just do it before you can drop the Ambusher into
Exactly.
the conflict.
I like had instances where my opponent like gets greedy and like play something before switching it, and that's when you kind of get them. But other than that, gotcha. There's no counterplay to it. But the fact that it's on row now instead of stronghold is huge in this matchup. But I'm playing the strength in numbers, because now I have enough people to send this guy home.
Well, I think technically you had enough people to send him home beforehand, huh?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Indeed, he did.
Yeah. I think I'm getting a little greedy. Okay, here it is. Yeah, because you play Ornate Fan. It's a political bump, but now I have more people. Here we go. Like 3D chessing myself. Now I can trigger Shono's ability. Oof.
Yeah, it turns out that this character is also a bird. If you couldn't tell by his costume.
Yeah.
He is absolutely a bird.
This is his life goal, and this is his everything he's been working for in throughout this.
Come a bird. All right. Force my hand. Now we shoot him in the face.
All right. Seems strong. I will pass.
I think we get the last keeper initiate. There you go.
Ah!
Where did he come from?
Let me see. I think that Gunso threw him into the discard pile
Oh lord!
at the beginning of the turn.
All right, Uncle, I quit. Let's GG go next.
All right.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, so
Here, you start the game. Maybe I'll let you go first then.
Okay.
So yeah, that can definitely happen. Like in the Phoenix versus Unicorn matchup, kind of, in my opinion, with multiple Phoenixes decks, not just like birds. Like if HMT just gets on top of you with a good amount of value and you kind of dirtle a little bit, you're in trouble. And definitely drawing 3 Walking the Way is not what I wanted to do at the very beginning of that game.
yeah, I mean, Walking the Way is definitely a really good card for this kind of deck because it lets you
For sure.
go in, but you definitely don't want all of them at the same time, and that is a no bueno.
Yeah, let's see if I can play this maybe a little bit better. And then if Imperial Summons is once again garbage this game, I promise I will still continue to run.
All right. Well, this seems like a significantly better start for you, Chris.
I suppose. I don't know. I'm just
Well,
going to do
maybe.
the same fucking thing.
Okay.
That always feels bad.
All right. Any encampments over here? No. You
No,
didn't
no
get, like,
encampments.
okay.
We
All
do
right.
have the second keeper though.
That's fine. You know what? You're just going to get those. That's just the way it's going to be.
They're there. They're part of you now. But your bin definitely looks a lot healthier now, and you don't have to spend multiple Walking the Ways to fill it very inefficiently.
You know, I think I just did all of that just terribly. I think my deck may have tried to give me the tools to win, but I was just too busy being an ass.
Let's see.
I think honestly, like just the whole Shono buy threw me completely off from how this is supposed to work. I'm like, what's this big body that's doing here multiple turns over turns? That's not Unicorn. That's not how this goes down. That's fucking Crane shit.
Right, but when you see 2 encampments, you can't not, right? I finally understand what it means to have stands.
That's funny. All right. This all actually seems pretty reasonable. Can I afford to just run at you, Earth, to try and take this off the table? I think so. I think I've got a hand just.
Yes.
I think I've got a hand just crazy enough to make this work.
So you had my curiosity here. Now you have my attention.
All right. Please don't play cards.
I mean, that is an option. And I think in traditional, like Unicorn tradition, I don't want to block this. I'm not sure though. I do like City of the Rich Frog. Yeah. We're just gonna be upset about it and not block. Played a fan.
I will attempt to break.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Oh no!
You did it, Chris. You broke a province.
I mean, I don't know. I think that that's just like kind of this deck's like weak point. Like if you get some obnoxious big character who's honored out immediately, and force me to start spending a whole bunch of cards just to win menial bullshit, then it goes very downhill for me. And then if I don't spend cards and I just lose provinces like immediately, it's kind of a bad, or I don't really know how to pilot this deck or what the play should be to be like semi-crane starts, you might say.
Yeah, and that's something I'm very used to. It's very it's vaguely reminiscent of how HMT used to play, or at least line HMT would play, where like you can get these like little small guys out, but then whenever something huge is on the board, it just takes so much effort for you to actually go through with it. All right, so upholding authority here.
Okay.
Seems kind of bad.
Against the Waves, that's a good card.
I do like how you drew only one of your spells in a deck that has probably like a 95% ratio of spell to not spell.
So I think it's like 60% spells, or anyway, maybe it's
That's a
more
good
than
amount.
that.
Yeah. I think to get value out of this, we just.
Ooh, the second one.
Okay.
Well, Unicorn does play that card, don't they? Alrighty.
It's a spicy hand.
All right, so I'll go ahead and take my Shrine Maiden body. We'll try and find Endless Plains. I'm sure will be like pilgrimage under Yasumura because life isn't fair.
Oh,
hey,
It is Endless Plains.
Usually the cards don't fall to where you actually want them.
It's true. Let's see. It's gonna break anyway. Like there's little to no chance that you don't have a pump.
It's fair.
I think we'd rather just deny you the ring and make you play more cards.
No, I'm gonna take my province break and shut the hell up. And
I mean, it seems pretty good to me.
just be happy with life, I guess.
All right. Let's do something proactive.
Well, that is just the exact kind of thing I was hoping you would. Can I afford to not participate at all? I don't think so. So we'll stand the one with the fan just in case you run into Korimori.
That's fair. Now the goal is to not run into Korimori.
Yes. Also, this has upside in case I pump this guy up really big.
It's
For
true. It's true. You could
to
just
get
get
through.
through like everyone else does.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I know your deck has a natural stand with Phoenixes against the Waves. Have you ever considered putting Elegantessent in for similar effect?
Yeah, and that may be something I do to try and clear up a lot of these a lot of these two ofs. You know, I've got two of Fine Katana, two fans, two clouds. You know, I could take one of the Fantana combination and just make it a three of, and then I could then either go back up to 3 Trick of the Light for more KI activation stuff, or like I can get rid of, or I can like go up to 3 Display of Powers. But what I could do is just get rid of all the Fantanas and then just go to 3 Elegant Tessens, and that allows me to use my 1-drops more. I'm a little trepidatious about it just because I've already taken out Clarity, but I think maybe Clarity's problem was that it was just, you know, only working during political, and I didn't want to have to like really futz with it that much. Also, one second here, I'm talking with you. This guy needs to be,
didn't defend.
Yeah, he needs to actually be in there. There we go. But I'm still passing.
Okay. Let's see.
But yeah, I could definitely see testing with some Elegant. My thought process was on the attachment, putting 2 Fate on all these 1-drops anyway. The attachments give you a lot of value. So like a 1-mana 1/1 pump to an already existing 1/1 and standing it, that's probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a card I've really enjoyed a lot, and playing it in some other, like, some Lion decks where the makeup of the deck is very similar to both of these 2 decks, right? Where it's a lot of like 1-drops, 2-drops, and being able to restand them pretty, you know, for a Fate is pretty awesome. So
Sure.
it's a very, very good card. Definitely one of the reasons you should buy the Dragon Pack if you have not already.
Oh yeah.
I will pass.
I can't do anything, so I'll also.
Yay! Yay! I mean, I didn't expect you to have 2 fans or anything like that, but, you know.
I think if I put a fan in this deck, I've done something horribly wrong.
Right.
What?
Speaking of fans, unfortunately, my fan does go.
It's a sad day to be a fan.
Fan favorite. All right. So I will, of course, get rid of both of these birds. You're not going to fire off this yurt anytime? You sure?
I'm definitely gonna fire off this year. I need honor.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
that's
too.
That's juicy. Yeah, that board over there is looking pretty good.
That is some sauce over here.
Yeah, I actually think I want to buy all of these. I'm not too sure. I think so, though.
Oof. Just play the Mystic here.
This thing
Alright.
seems good.
And again, that's all 3 Keeper Initiates in the discard pile now.
It's very, very casually seeing all your keeper initiates in the top 4 cards of your deck.
You've already been in, through more than half your Dynasty deck at this point, thanks to Rich Frog and
sure.
the Gunso, and the Season of War early too.
Now, he's seen all 3 keepers, and I've seen all 3 Fushikos both games, and somehow I think his 3 keepers are better.
Potentially. May or may not be. He can have all 3 keepers out on the board, as opposed to you not being able to have all 3 birds out.
We're going to pass because we're greedy. Something tells me you need this Solemn Scholar.
So there's a couple of different ways. Like, I could not buy it and then keep money back for, like, maybe consumed by 5 fires, because I think you're most likely going to play For Greater Glory this turn.
Yeah, that is in this deck. I almost forgot.
But otherwise, if I just keep you from actually getting to my box this turn, then I don't care if all your guys get Fate, because next turn when you do get to my box, they'll all just go away as part of the attack anyway. So
It's true. It's true.
maybe if I can just defend at least one of these, I'll be okay. I desperately need you to not flip my box this turn.
So, ruling question about retire to the Brotherhood. If your opponent runs out of cards in their Dynasty deck, what happens? Do they just not get? Do they reshuffle and continue to flip, or do they just stop at that point?
No, it just stops. It's like the same with Satoshi.
Okay.
Like
Really?
Satoshi wouldn't flip; his effect stops.
Well, I forget every time. Every time a Ethereal Dreamer starts to proc her ability, I always think it's wedding hostilities going off, and I cry on the inside.
There's no other thing that could possibly trigger step.
That's not true. Actually, there's the new card in Lion that triggers it in the same window. All Out Assault.
Also,
Oh,
I mean,
you're right.
I also just call it the shoju phase.
That too. Alright, so this Utaku Infantry has 3 friends, so that makes him a 4/4 right now.
Right. So I don't care about this ring. I don't care about this province. You know, Emperor Summons dying right now is definitely probably the best thing that it can do. So
It's the best thing to do pretty much every time it gets revealed.
we'll just sit around and do nothing. I will not play Display of Power because I cannot draw them. So we'll just act like they don't exist for right now. Although I'm sure that when I do draw them, it'll be off of a Shrine Maiden so that you get plenty of warning. Spoils of War, you play that card?
It's pretty terrible. I'd rather have Spyglass back.
I've never seen that card in Unicorn.
Again, is this what Scorpion feels like? I hate throwing away cards when I have a third of my deck in my hand.
It's okay. In Scorpion, every card is of equal quality.
They're all good.
Can be thrown away non-discriminately.
Well, if there are consequences, then it would be Unicorn. Right?
Yes, Unicorn is definitely the Consequence Clan.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't play a good card without losing honor.
Or, you know, doing 5 different things to trigger it.
Chat right now is suggesting, you know, maybe you can run some lighthouses to help build the dynasty whenever you flip retire the Brotherhood.
yeah, I could do that.
That may be a little excessive.
No, I've literally never put Lighthouse into a single deck I've ever played, ever. But, you know, if you got a good idea, maybe your ideal one that converts me.
Yeah, if you think you have a amazing Lighthouse deck, please let me know, and we can try to feature you on the deck on this show. I'm actually surprised the Do Nothing Phoenix did not run that holding, but they are about to get another Do Nothing card that will enable them pretty well.
What's that do nothing one that gains honor? It's like a 2/4.
Yeah, the 2/4. It's a 3 cost 2/4.
Yes.
With 2 honor. With 2 glory. It's pretty wild, and it's a courtier. It's pretty sweet.
It's like everything you want to see.
Yeah.
I have an idea. God damn it. Shrine Maidens killing Shrine Maidens every time. Every time.
Look, there can only be one.
Unfortunately. Alright, so I'm playing Shrine Maiden into this battle, so I've got a comfortable platform with which to dump a Supernatural Storm to try and break. I would like to break here if I can, but I don't want like an easy assassination to just be 100% get out of jail free card for Unicorn here. So if he assassinates the Shrine Maiden, because that's the biggest guy, then now I still have a Shugenja left in the battle to do, you know, other stuff with. So kind of happy regardless of how this conflict goes.
Yeah, pretty reasonable choice, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think, because you're kind of attacking into my Achilles heel, you can't really do anything, right? So I just got to pass here.
That's definitely the best case outcome for me here. To be on his box, kind of ahead of tempo. So, is there already? Yeah, you've got everything. So
Hey, everything. I have one of everything in the discard pile.
yeah, I'll just gain 2 because there's no reason not to. I'm not gonna accomplish anything by taking 1 from.
I know you're not going to go for the Dishonor Flame, but with the
Hey, I mean, all I need him to do is play 3 Assassination this turn. No, wait, that still wouldn't get me anywhere close.
Let me see. I'm gonna ready this lady.
Yeah, the saving grace of Unicorn forever will always be Border Rider. She is.
Yeah, almost certainly.
She is the only card that kept them afloat during the Dark Ages.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say as time has gone on, she's only gotten better. I guess because of Gunso by proxy, just not having to pay for a Border Rider makes her even better. Still one of the greatest crab reserve targets, so I don't think I see a future where that card would never not be good.
Yeah. I felt the same way about LPB and Lion for a while, but as of late, she's finding less and less use, which is bizarre to say. Her and Spirit
That's
Caller
kind of
both
crazy.
have just been sort of fading out of decks because like they just don't need to be there anymore.
So, I'm fine to pass here, even though it would mean him getting still a conflict that he wasted without breaking. So we'll see what gets played in here. Like the worst case scenario is I go for greed and flip it to political, and then he CAs me and then still gets the Earth Ring. So I feel like no matter what, I have to save my Cory Mori action and then flip it off Earth in like a worst case scenario.
Right, and I want to put pressure on the box, so like I need a break here.
Yeah.
So Christian in chat saying Border Rider isn't even really that good anymore. It isn't top 2 Unicorn 2 costers anymore. Well, obviously Yasumura is number 1.
Yeah, has to be.
But
And
who
Gunso's
else is-
number 2.
Oh yeah, I guess Gunso would be number 2 because
Yeah, because Gunso
can get
literally
Border
any
Rider
other
and
true drop.
Yasumura. That's fair enough.
Stop playing cards, Chris.
I mean, I actually have legit cards to play right now. So don't.
Yeah, I need you to
won't
not do
last
this right
long.
now.
So, like, since you have $1 million money, what I'm hoping to do is force out a cavalry reserves from you here.
Right.
Because I think I can deal with that. I can't deal with a whole bunch of like cavalry reserve bullshit after Brotherhood gets flipped. So, don't do that.
That's fair. I think let's push the pace here.
Yeah, it's a card. So all I'm doing right now is just like trying to play stuff that, including this box activation.
That makes sense.
I probably throw away Consumed by Five Fires the most of anything. Like that and Trigger the Lights are usually the ones that I pitch a lot on these KI activations.
Yeah.
Really, I don't mind it whenever Consumed by Five Fires is in the bin, because whenever I really need to use it, it's fine if I'm activating it from the bin. I mean, most of the time, if I'm not trying to avoid like a defender.
Yeah, chat saying, if only Ambusher, well, that would be quite fortuitous.
Yeah, that would be quite fortuitous right now.
Yeah, if you had the third Ambusher for this, and obviously, I feel like you probably would have already played it just to be safe.
Oh yeah, for sure, just to lock that in. Let's see. Playing good cards, not on my watch. Guess we just see how hard you want to commit here.
Oh, it's a bunch of things. Oh my. All right. Well, let's go ahead and switch this ring over to water. That seems good.
Oof. Yep, that'll do it.
We're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna give up on this one.
Yeah, you often forget that Korimori can actually change the ring type.
It's been used for much more degenerate purposes. So many times that you just forget about the other practical purpose.
I don't know
right
how many
now-
times on Worlds I saw this card just completely keep someone off of the box.
I mean, for me, there's nothing more degenerate than keeping 3 keeper initiates from coming into play. Would you quit playing spoils?
I can't stop drawing the card. I would legitimately say every time I've played spoils in this game, I've drawn another spoils, except for this one.
Is it because that's your third spoils? Oh no, that was the second one.
Let's see. Standing this guy seems good.
Hey, it's a big guy.
So now he's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, it's only characters that are participating. Of course, when he cav reserves into this stronghold attack, it'll get real big again. Let's see how many Defend Your Honors you have in here. Rar.
All right, they're all military. He blocks. Then I think what we do here is you just go ahead and we play this.
He's only a 3? That's odd.
Yeah, 3. Himself. Oh, he's a 2. Yeah, and I have the favor.
Oh, that's right. It's other participating characters.
Oh, if he just counted like people on the board, he'd be, I think, auto include, right?
That's fair. It always feels like it's everybody on the board anyway. So
Yeah, usually it is. Usually.
all right. Form of a bird.
Form of bird.
Bird becometh.
Bird becomes guy. Let's get her out of here.
Seems pretty good. Form of a bird.
Oof. Let's duel for it. Cool.
See, now you are maybe regretting not taking the dishonor path, right, Chris?
Yeah, now you can kill me. 1000%.
Well, my thought here was I might as well attack Earth and try and get because if I just allow you to like straighten this other border rider that you brought into play with cav reserves, you're going to attack the box anyway.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be able to, in my opinion, get the keepers no matter what. So I might as well try and go in. But unfortunately, I really didn't have to attack you with here, and I may be dead.
Let's see. So keepers have fate, which is a good thing. I think, do I have the other one? No, I don't. It's unfortunate. And then they have fate on them, so they don't go away, but this border rider's going to eat it.
Yeah.
Hearthstone time. Oh my god.
Okay, so the Kai 8-8, And a Mystic. Oh, sweet, I got a Skirmisher. Let's go.
Wow. One luck.
Let's see.
All right, seems bad. Sure, send her home. All right. Let's go to game 3.
All right.
All right, and we'll play a quick game 3 here, and we'll see what happens. So
Seem to be dying.
you seem to be dying.
Seem to be dying.
I have confidence in you this game, actually.
I mean, variance, right? You got to draw bad.
Yeah,
That's whenever I'm at my best.
It definitely it definitely seems like you have not found a single display of power, nor have you found.
That's true. That's true.
Oh,
I'm obviously going to lose this game because I'm going first. Like,
No, and then both games also started off with a pretty nice season of war, and it just didn't seem to matter either one. So, scary. I'm sure I'm just like massively misplaying all over the place. Ooh, mulligan all of those cards. So yeah, this is kind of why I'm thinking that maybe mid better. So like in a tournament setting, I would be less worried about having to face HMT because HMT would have to somehow get through like Dragons and Crane and Lion Tower and all these decks that play policy debate, and it's just it's a really hard format for HMT. On the other end, I have to be able to get through that too, and a single policy debate may not be super wrecking for Birds, but you just start to add on that incremental advantage, and pretty soon Birds just has nowhere to come back from.
Yeah,
it's true.
And
I think policy debate hurts you a little bit less, right? Just because you have KI.
Yeah, but I mean, like new KI is certainly less fair. Like we didn't.
Oh, for sure.
We didn't get the sweetheart deal that Scorpion just got.
Unerrated. Bless you.
Dude, please, somebody, give me old KI and then just restrict it, right? And then I could just run like this maybe out of Keeper, and I would still be fine. I'd lose, I'd pick up Keeper Initiates, but lose the 5 fires. That would still be reasonable, maybe, and then you just get, old KI, where you never have card disadvantage. I don't really feel like firing off this season here, but nothing else is good. This is a really bad place to be in. Because firing off the season only basically puts me down a fate. But maybe I get a 1-drop out of it.
I think you've done this every game, right?
So far, yes. Every game has been. You know what? I'm just gonna season. Oh, there you go.
That's why I took City of the Rich Frog out, and I'm relying on Imperial Summons to find Birds. Because, against you, man, City of Rich Frog is going to net me 2 cards, and then you're going to break it turn 1 every single game.
It's true.
Okay, well, this is certainly more reasonable for you. You have your 1-drops, and you put the bird in the bin, along with something for the bird to fetch.
Yeah. I mean, so far I've kind of been able to do all of those things in each game, and it just quite hasn't been enough. I mean, to be honest, the assassinations have been pretty fucking stifling. Because normally I don't have to deal with that shit with Unicorn, but it's hard for me to race you up in stats when literally every single one of my characters is susceptible to being nuked. So
right.
That could be another reason for me to maybe give up on this direction and look maybe to gross, stupid, boring IMS bullshit. But we'll see. I'll take your guys' guidance on that.
Yeah, and so definitely, one of the things that we were talking about earlier. So policy debate, obviously a big factor in this, but also just dealing with some of these bigger body decks that are starting to come up now. I feel like the bird deck kind of struggles against that as well, just because of the big body kind of aspect of it. So it is definitely something to consider for sure.
Right, and then to my knowledge, IMS looks a little bit different, right? In terms of what it can do, you can do either this dishonor or a more of a mid-range kind of build.
Yeah, like the dishonor is in the form of like the pet deck, and less one drop, less reliance on one drop shoot, and then just more like there's Acolyte of Koyane, the Pride Shugenja. I think
Yeah, that
like
one's great.
most people are running the Waves guy, the Nightin Master, the Water Master guy.
Prodigy of the Waves.
There you go. So I think what I'm going to do here is try something a little bit different. If I can avoid a turn one assassination, I think we're just going to go for favor bitching with these FPIs. And we'll see if maybe turning Censure on will help me not die so heavily in turn two. Because I think in each game, I've kind of escaped relatively well from turn one, but then it's just a series of unfortunate events in turn two that leads to me dying.
Yeah. Your turn ones have definitely been solid. Let's see. We do have a keeper.
Shoot in the chat saying Fro just called IMS players gross, boring, and stupid.
No, I said the Stronghold was.
There is a difference. You can be a fascinating person yourself and still play a gross and boring Stronghold.
I will not defend. I force you to play a skirmisher.
I mean, do I really care about my hand? I don't know. It's spicy, I do care.
Oh yeah? Well, it just so happens that I actually...
Let me see.
That was a lie. I did not. I 100% did not. I mean, maybe the lesson here is that I should be on 3 display power, not 2, right?
Perhaps. So one of the big things that we talked about earlier that aggressive decks have problems dealing with is display of power, especially on the early turns when you're looking to get that momentum. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something worth considering. It can be another card that you're looking to pitch pretty often. I know you talk about Consumed by 5 Fires being one of the ones that you throw away a lot. I think you're on 2 of those.
Yeah.
And maybe those can be a third display of power.
Yeah, maybe, and if I remove these fine katanas and fans, dropped in 3 Tessin instead, that would free up a slot for a third display of power. Maybe Tessin could do more good than I'm thinking.
I'm thinking you get a lot of mileage out of it.
I'm sure I would. Good stuff.
So, Mike, talk to me about this Alternate Sunrise Vanguard card. Is it pretty much just in here to be a 1-drop with 2 mil?
That is all it's for. Its text is irrelevant.
Okay.
It is a less cooler Moto Youth.
Sounds good. Her art is sick, though.
Yeah, it is. I think it used to be like an old L5R card. It's like, what was it called? Like Kiko or something like that? It was like an attachment.
Okay.
So I was pretty geeked to see it as like an actual like personality.
Yeah, it's like very like Final Fantasy-esque.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Let's see. Let's not faceplant to Korimori.
All right, so I'm staying back. I didn't throw an attack at him. Just trying to stay alive as long as possible until I get like literally 5 Shugenja on the board, and then maybe I can, at that point in time, start oppressing my will. Who knows? But I will go ahead and throw a body in front of this. And I guess to start, we'll just bonsai to prevent the break.
That's a card.
So in this deck, you're running Keeper of Earth. Obviously, there's a trade-off with upholding authority and it being bad, or just simply a card you don't run. How have you kind of been dealing with that problem?
You're talking about with upholding authority?
Yeah, well, like in just Earth, playing an Earth roll at a Unicorn.
Right. Because I think if you're going Earth Roll and Unicorn, you're almost exclusively going for that unfulfilled duty play. Like right here, like if everyone's bowed out, I could still ready my entire board, basically still have the keeper initiation going to this third conflict. And that's pretty value. I think what you're trading off is the huge swing that you get from upholding authority, though. If you could still include it in the deck, but it would be at 5 strength. I think in this meta, and just in the game in general, you don't want to give your opponent a province that they can farm reliably without like committing to break.
You shouldn't just give your opponent an idiot 5 strength province. That's what a blasphemy, dude.
Like, so that Scorpion matchup that's already like dicey at best. You don't want to give them something they can just leverage against you the entire game. So I like my what is it, Bayushi Whisperer or a Bayushi Liar, the one with 3 Paul, and he just walks in, breaks it kind of casually if they just poke.
Yeah, that is my favorite part about non-keeper unicorn decks. Is just like you just watch the liar go in and there's nothing. It's like watching a car wreck. Okay, so you've canceled my bonsai.
I have.
So I'm gonna do something really stupid here, and I'm gonna play Trick of the Light on
And he is blank.
to take away some of your force bonus.
I do like that card. It's the end of the conflict, right? Yep.
So, I really like Trick of the Light over Cloud. I'd like to be able to not play Cloud, but, Shouju 2 still existing in the meta, because the City RL didn't actually stop that deck from being played. It's pretty disheartening, so I'm not quite sure exactly how I want to do this, this mixture of either Cloud or Trick of the Light, and if one of the two of them just needs to fucking go.
Yeah. I feel like, Cloud's definitely got to go in if Shoju's going to continue to be played. There's a lot of problematic cards, actually, like, Student of Anatomies? That card wrecks games.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, that one's a tough cookie for sure.
All right, so I have to start playing real cards now, but I'm out of money to do so. I guess I'm just gonna switch the conflict type here.
I was waiting for you to do that.
You like to use core, in my opinion. Like in a lot of matchups, it kind of just does it, but against Unicorn, since they do have access to switch it back, like we're seeing right here, sometimes it can be more impactful just switching the ring, but I don't really want to switch it off of water, so I think from here on, I just have to pass. I'm just getting so fucking high rolled.
Let's see. What do we pitch?
Also, very impressively, my provinces give me money and managed to not hit either of my money ones in exactly when I needed you
That's
to not
true.
do that. It's pretty impressive.
Into that one. What do we do here?
The thing is, I really haven't even gotten that stoned today either. So it's not like I'm just playing bad because of, outside influences. I'm just getting rickrolled. So, yeah, we'll pass now. I could attack, but since everything in my hand actually costs money, I'm not going to be able to do anything, so I'll pass.
Let's see. All right. I think the gameplay in here is to play for turn 2. And I kind of just want to see what this turns into.
Yeah, it's good. Seems good.
And here we are. Emperor summons.
Alright, and maybe 5 puts me at breaking. But I think what we're going to do, be a little bit greedy here. I just want to see what happens.
But why?
Because I'm playing for next turn, so you got to use your stronghold to my advantage.
I mean, but weren't you breaking anyway?
Yeah, I was breaking.
However, I feel like there's something that you're going to want to see in a second, Chris.
All right.
Well, first of all, it's the third spoils war. But aside from that,
Yeah, sure. Put fate on all your guys.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Well, I just don't know how the meta is going to deal with very degenerate HMT unicorn deck that we're seeing on display here.
So, I guess in your testing so far, Mike, what do you feel like this deck's biggest problems are? Obviously, we talked about policy debate, and there are a lot of policy debates in the meta. But like, what other than policy debate is the biggest issue that you encounter?
Other than policy debate, let's see. So this deck definitely suffers from, if you can get a tower unit with a lot of battles, so like just Crane in general, provides pretty huge hurdle to get over, just because they have answers to all the events you're throwing their way. They have the battles like in all their characters, the dojos, duelist training. I guess to an extent, like same thing with Dragon. They also have access to the policy debate, but they also have Void Fist, and because you like to spread your skill out, typically, or even if you put on one character, they can get bigger than you. And also Crab just outvalues you most of the time. And if you're kind of crutching on Utaku infantry, you end up getting blanked out with anatomies. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure.
So, like, usually when Unicorn goes balls to the wall aggro, there is some kind of trade-off with the amount of cards that they have to spend out of their hand. But Fan Favorite here is very intelligently drawn all of his spoils of war every single game. And really, play of that high level, there almost is no counter,
It is quite difficult, I must say.
Yeah, you gotta just be big brain.
If your brain is smaller than your opponent's, you're gonna lose every time.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate fact of this game. So, like, talking about Retire to the Brotherhood, what's very unfortunate here is that I got 5 drops instead of just more 1 drops. What I'd want to do is just spam as many 1 drops into the board as possible. But I'm not going to really be able to do that. The thought there is that I can attack with my 1 drops into him, and then they'll be replaced by other characters with no fate. Since I very small-brained flipped that Tsuko and K-Day here, I'll get very limited benefit out of Retire to the Brotherhood.
So I'm actually running into like the interesting position where if I buy this Genso, my deck starts to get low enough where if I hit Retire to the Brotherhood, I kind of just run out of cards. Because I think I'll be replacing seven characters.
Yeah, you would be replacing 7 characters at that point. Let's see it happen. Actually,
I want to see this happen.
Silly.
you could actually buy the other Gunso too.
It's true.
For maximum screw yourself overness.
I would personally suggest against that.
Yeah, because I won't have any characters to replace with.
Yeah.
I think I've hit all my Season of Wars, and I have hit all of my Winslow Yurts. So I think all I have left is 2 Shiatomes in the deck, and the rest are people. So I think here, I just actually passed.
So if I had more cards in my hand, or it was like in any way advantage, I would bid 1 here because he's so close to losing 5. But honestly, if I don't go for drawing as many cards as possible, I'm just as apt to lose just to my stronghold breaking. So I have to bid 5, unfortunately. I'm going to pick a ring with this Ethereal Dreamer. That will probably not matter. So I guess what I can try and do is I can run in here with my Ethereal Dreamer onto this Void, and I can then Void my own guy to try and get an extra, possibly better body out of
spicy. I like that.
Brotherhood. So I think that we'll probably try and do that. Do you have a Shiotome out right now?
No,
There
I
are
do
no
not. I wanted the bin. No, all 3 in the bin actually. I only have people left.
All right, sure. We'll do this.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter if I block all out because they get replaced anyway.
Oh, so you figured that part out, did you?
We just pass.
This has got to be bad manners. You won't even let me void. Come on.
I'm trying to lose the game for myself.
I want you to spin cards. I know you can definitely win that political conflict. It doesn't matter how bad you want it. Because I
You know
can't
what?
win. I can tell you.
You know what? I'm not even sure I could. I mean, there's definitely, a whole bunch of my ancestor strength I could throw at it, but then you just fucking assassinate me, and then and then I wouldn't have those cards so that you can then assassinate me on my box, the proper place for that to happen.
Right.
So for your big drops, I guess, Chris, what are you running exactly? So it's Atsuko, it's Kaede, and Inferno Guard, and that's it. I guess you also have bird too, right?
And yeah, you can just drop in 6/6s on them. Yeah, the Fire Elemental Guards, getting Atsuko is usually pretty good. Like, the deck is more of a Atsuko deck than it is a bird deck. Really, something that we really haven't been able to do here because we just haven't had the time. But that's get Atsuko into play and then start trying to oppress our will through void conflicts. Just never really happened. So here we got some bodies. Well, I guess I should defend with something. Just in case, like, another captive audience happens. I don't know if you run 3 or not.
I would have to
deck,
imagine that most
absolutely.
unicorn decks would run 3.
I think 2 to 3 is like a correct number, probably. It just depends on how hard you want to lean into your military conflicts, which if you're on HMT, I just personally lean 3. It's nice to have as a safety blanket. If you don't need it, pitch it to spoils.
Yeah, it is in fact a card that I wish I had in Lion.
So just have to give that conflict up.
Yeah. Two of the captive audiences were already gone, but I guess there is a decent chance that you could see the third one at this point in time.
Right. If I draw 4 spoils, I can hit that captive audience. Now here's where I play display power.
Yeah.
We were doing that last year. That was a lot of fun, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, we had at least 2. Do we have 3 decks with display of power in it in Team America last year?
Did we have
Was it like Lion, Unicorn, and Phoenix?
Lion, Unicorn, and Phoenix, and I think we could have had a 4th if we had Palumbo playing at the time, because he would have been playing his Scorpion deck with display of power.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off a bird here. 1, because display of powered. And 2, to just go ahead and start generating some extra value for maybe some further echoes that I'll play in my own defense when he gets to my box. This will go ahead and net me an extra character to defend with, and then it still leaves another bird in my box that I can use for my ancestor strengths and potentially another echoes.
All right, what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna gain the honor while I can.
Seems good. And then I'll just choose to honor my own Atsuko.
Seems good.
Yeah, discarding stuff doesn't matter. And we'll honor Atsuko. And since it's... Oh, wait, well, I can't get my Atsuko out anyway. I don't have Kenny in the board, so it's only these guys that I can get out right now. So that's an extra +7 on defense. Seems pretty good.
Definitely ain't bad. Let's see.
Throw a bunch of annoying bodies at me. With a million fate. Why do you have so much fate?
These guys, because my guys don't cost anything.
This is true.
Also, Gunso. Gunso's really good. Like half the guys I haven't paid for, Gunso just fetched out. We're gonna go into the conflict with these guys.
In the end, Shoot says that Team America did not display much power last year.
Ooh.
We didn't play last year. I don't know what you're talking about.
It just never happened.
It didn't happen.
All right. We're going to level up.
He's going
Experienced
Super Saiyan.
Inferno Guard Invoker.
He's ascended.
Well, he'll discard himself from play if you break this province.
Right,
So, right. Got to keep that in mind. But most likely he'll just discard himself from play from home since you're going to strength of numbers him. I actually have a real chance of winning this. I think, without seeing your hand.
I believe in you,
Without
Chris.
seeing my hand.
Yep, that's all, guys. For sure. So I will need to be able to continue to play cards. So I'm going to attempt to trick this Tetsuko.
No, you got it.
Yeah, get tricked, bitch.
Not collecting taxes this time around.
Oh my god, you have so much military.
Let's see. I think we just need to see what you can do at this point, right? Can't touch him. I think that's a really good card.
Yeah, I like Cloak.
Cloak
I like
is-
Cloak.
Cloak is
Well, my
really
player
solid.
got upset when that card came out. It's the biggest. How big is this guy? 10? Okay.
Oh, he's 12 now.
Or it's just me.
Oh, yeah, I think it's just you. You want to refresh?
Alright, has this stupid Shono been used yet? There's just like a million extra force waiting.
It has not been used yet.
Super.
You still there, Mike? Uh-oh. He may have disconnected entirely.
Could be having internet problems. I'm absolutely sure I'm dead here. I mean, if he just goes, if he goes Shoto as his next action, I'm dead. I mean, I could use the box to play Trick of the Light again. I could play Cloud, which will immediately get sticked. So I guess the argument is I should have instead of
Bonsaiing, you should have triggered the later.
Instead of bonsaiing, I should have triggered Trick on Shono. I don't know. I think I'm dead anyway. Because, let's say I trick his very first action, and he decides he's not going to dick around. He could just send Infernal Guard Invoker home before I ever play Cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, most likely, I'm dead no matter how this goes. Let's see
How
if we
much?
can get him back.
Let's see.
though.
How much total skill do you have representing? Oh,
So
All right,
I'll
there
have
you go.
12 here. Hey, what's up, bud?
I'm back. Okay, there we go.
All right, so the bonsai has gone through now.
Cool. There we go.
You are still you are still in fact breaking though.
Technical difficulties. Let's see. Yep, breaking barely. What other cards could you possibly have in your hand? Can you
They're
switch
all
the-
bad.
Yeah, I was like, can you switch the ring right now?
Not anymore.
um, so I guess I'll have to trigger the light this Shono to have a chance.
That's a good card. So still breaking.
I'll play a storm.
Now I'm not breaking. Let's see.
So I actually have to stop you from winning all out, because if you win, I'm dead also.
Right.
Because you'll just activate box, and then you'll unfulfilled duty, and then
And then
kill
just stand
me.
back up again. Yeah.
Yes. So I either win this or I lose. So we'll have to just keep playing cards, unfortunately. Let's get this other one into the
Another
mix.
fire card invoker. Okay.
Sure.
31 to 31.
Pretty impressive. Let's see. What can we do here?
Just kill me. Just
Kill me.
I'm here. Kill
Alright,
me.
kill
Ow.
me.
I'll just play the Ujuk tactics. This is sitting in my hand.
All right, seems good. All right, so what can I do? I can take this Fire Tensei Initiate, and I can turn it into a bird. And then I am still dead.
Yeah, we just kill her.
All right, good stuff.
All right, so that'll be it for these games here. So Chris, obviously, you know, in playing this in playing this deck, I could hear the lament in your voice as you went through each game. I mean, obviously, you know, I think in some other games it wouldn't be quite as oppressive, since you don't have to worry about dying so early in the matchup. You have more time. I guess you have more time to establish a board.
Yeah, like, you know, I bitch about Crane, but I actually have a solid matchup against both Crane and Dragon just due to 5 fires. You know, the point of playing Seeker in this environment is to play 5 fires, and that's really something that this HMT deck just doesn't really care about. So I would have to probably draw a display of power at some point in time. And kind of high roll a little bit to get better odds in this matchup. And again, you know, maybe this is a matchup that's turned better by trying to play more mid range. You know, so that'll be something we'll be looking at.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable, I think. And Mike, I guess on your side, I know you had mentioned that you know, obviously this is a Lion Splash deck, and you mentioned Dragon Splash at the beginning of the show. Do you think that Dragon Splash is probably better situated in the meta because of, you know, these bigger decks like Crane and Dragon, etc.?
Oh, for sure. Like, and I think that's the problem that you run into. Like, as great as Dragon Splash is, because Lion Splash, I guess, leans more into speed and a wider board, but you lose in the mid game too. Like, but Dragon Splash gives you a little bit more control. Like, you can run Fury or Tattooed Wanderer. I think he's got a little bit more value if Power stops seeing him play. You can at least get past your problems. But Fury will help you win conflicts on defense that you don't normally want to defend anyway. Slow your opponent down and let go. There's so many attachments out there that are worth just sniping, but they're again, there's going to be too many. So picking and choosing your targets definitely helps, since Unicorn don't really have an effective in-clan attachment hate. Gunso and Thomistic is also nice, just as a tech play. If you need to get rid of something, but I think Dragon definitely lends itself a little bit better into most of the clans that you're playing against, more so than Lion. But again, if you're looking for that speed, I think the Lion deck has the Dragon one beat.
Yeah, I mean, strength in numbers still fucks, in my opinion.
Exactly. Like, if you can't cancel it, you can't win the conflict.
Yeah, it's definitely a card that I've stopped running myself just because of the towers, but I think that if tower is exiting the meta as we expect it to, then strength in numbers definitely becomes a lot more reasonable to get around all these movement effects.
Yeah, like think about when you're playing it. So like the the big movement effects outside of Mount, you've got the invitation card for political for Crane that they're still running, but really Mount is kind of it. And if
It's okay and favorable, but it's not reliable.
Yeah, like so Crab. So for that reason, Crab has pretty reliable because they can rebuild the favorables if they see them. But outside of that, well, I guess you have Hawk Tattoo and Dragon is also potentially another one as well. I guess there is a little bit more move back in the meta than I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but I mean none as reliable as Favor Mount, where it's just always there.
Right. And unlike most Unicorn cards, it doesn't care about a conflict type.
Yeah,
That's why it's good. All right, so that'll be it for today's show, though. So this is certainly a different display of Phoenix and Unicorn than our previous episode. So if you guys,
good playing, bud.
Oh yeah, likewise. I don't even think the not destroying the display of power is like a high roll. If you just hit that card, that makes this matchup so much harder.
Well, there's only so many games we can play. See all your spoils, and I see none of my display.
Yeah, I think in both of those, in all the games, I saw 8 spoils.
So good.
All right, any shout-outs for you guys before we close up the stream?
No, just thanks for actually doing some. This is some good content that you're putting together. Actually, just organizing it. So thanks, Dan.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Steelfur, I think is on the Discord. We're just putting together like events or content like this for people to participate in or even watch during this time, because I know there's a lot of people, all they're doing is going to work if they have to. Like, they're still deemed essential. And there's not really a time to go out and meet other people, play games like you used to. So this is kind of like an oasis, a retreat, something that people can look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the whole point of all the stuff that we're trying to do right now. So, thank you guys for participating, and we will see you, sometime in the future in later episodes. Hopefully, maybe we can do some in-person episodes at some point in time too, once all this is over.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right. Well, take care, everybody, and thank you guys for watching.
Peace out.
Adios.